two past delicate, efficient years of my formation here, professional institution of CIEL. So before I even start, I would like to thank God because none of this would even be possible if it weren't for Him. Second, I would like to thank my mentor, Mr. Equipe, for mentoring me regarding this project, for helping me with illustrating the skills that I need to present this project. I would also like to thank Mrs. Rashida Amzian for helping with my English skills, my presentation skills, and basically my English skills in general. I would also like to thank the audience that we have in front of us today, the cameraman and the jury that we have in front of us today, which we all admire and cherish, of course. So the project that I chose for you today is the warehouse management project. And I chose this project today because I was always fascinated by logistics, transportation, customs in general. And for the case study that I chose today, is a warehouse which is owned by public institutions, public companies, public associations. It's not actually like for customs, for example. The public warehousing in customs, it's not like logistics. Because for the public warehousing in logistics, it means it should be owned by a public association or a company. For the private warehousing, basically it should be owned by a private association or company like Timar, San Jose, etc. For the contract warehousing, let's say for example, a client wants maybe to use a space for like 9 months. He can create a contract with the people in charge so he can use that space of warehousing in those 9 months also. Once that 9 months expires, the contract expires by itself. Moving on to the multi-client warehousing. The multi-client warehousing basically explains itself because multi-client warehousing is a warehouse where multi-clients can store their goods inside one warehouse for their goods to be distributed or sold later on. Moving on to the company presentation that I chose for you today. I've always thought that if I'm going to be presenting a very big project for you today in front of you, I needed to choose a big company that can justify its operations, which is why I chose Timar. So Timar is a transportation, customs, and logistics as well. It specializes in that. It's capitalized around 160 million dirhams. It was founded by a CEO called Carlos in Spain. But even though Carlos studied in Spain, Portugal, and Japan, however, the headquarters of Timar is existing in Casablanca, exactly at Ain Sbab. So even though Timar is a big transportation, customs, logistics company, they suffered from big problematics regarding their customs warehouse at Morova, which they previously had. So the problematics that we have today, I've categorized them into 3 sectors so I can comprehensively explain them to you in the best way or the best manner possible. So Timar at the previous warehouse back in Morova used to have only 2 keys for them to operate or to generate a lot of operation. And we all know that Timar is a big company regarding transportation, exactly, because it's the #1 factor regarding Timar. So they only have 2 keys, and I wanted to touch on this example that we have right here. So the first problematic that Timar had is the cost management problems. Let's say, for example, we have truck number A, truck number B, and truck number C. However, they only have 2 keys available for these trucks to insert themselves into. And the problem here is they have 15 employees to work in each and every single truck, which is 5 on the first truck, 5 on the second truck, and 5 for the third truck. Let's say, for example, this truck inserts itself in this key right here, and truck number B inserts itself in the key right here. We have 1 truck here that is not operating. When the truck here is not operating, all of these 5 employees are not operating also. If they cannot generate money for the company, they are not generating enough money for the company, so they cannot recreate generational wealth. So what happened here is Timar starts to pay all of these 5 employees and they don't do nothing. Because the first problem here is that we have 2 keys. And the second problem is that these 5 employees are not to blame because they have a truck, they want to operate on this truck, but they cannot because the truck is not operating on these keys. So that is for the cost management problem. For the time management problem, let's go back to the same exact example. We have truck number A, truck number B, and truck number C. All of these 3 trucks are destined to be inside of these 2 keys at the exact same time. But that cannot be possible because we have 3 and 2, and that mathematically, logistically, systematically cannot be possible. So that concludes that we have 3 trucks and we have 1 that is now operating. If this truck causes delays, we all know regarding customs or regarding logistics or transportation, the most dangerous thing that we can do is to create delays, because time is money and money is wealth and wealth is problems. And that is for the time management problematic. Now we have another problematic which I forgot to put on this PowerPoint, but I will address it in the perfect way possible. We have the inputs and outputs problem, which is the most important one, which is between the brackets physique, les deux keys that we have right here. So let's say, for example, we have 2 keys right here. If we only have 2 keys, that means we don't have enough storage in the customs warehouse to import goods or to export goods. So we only have 2 keys, and we also have a small customs warehouse, and that we cannot generate a lot of operations. Regarding Timar has a lot of clients, a lot of operations, but they don't have enough keys to generate money with it. So Timar suffers from this problematics for a long period of time, I think 10 years or 15 years, certain problems, and to address every single one of them. So Carlos did a meeting which concluded every single one of us employees of Timar, because I work at Timar as well. They concluded that every employee that works at Timar attended that meeting regarding the directors, the vice directors, these employees right here, we as customs declarants, in which we all discussed our differences and our problems regarding these points right here, in which we all concluded that the most safe way that we can fix that problem is to find a big customs warehouse, a new customs warehouse that we can generate a lot of operations, a lot of money, a lot of business partners, marketing ideas, commercially, etc. And that is exactly what Timar did. Timar found this is actually a real footage of the customs warehouse that they bought. They rented actually, they didn't buy it. They rented actually at Bakasan, which all the company right now is in Bakasan Timar. So now they have 10 keys that they can operate with. We can clearly see that there is a lot of increase in the area, in the import section, in the export section, which means that they will generate more operations. And if they generate more operation and if they fix those problems, they won't have those problematics anymore. And that is exactly what is happening right now, because we can see that Timar from 160 million dirhams in capital, the next year in 2023, it's expected to be 200 million dirhams because of this fix, which generated a lot of money. So we can see here that the customs warehouse of export is very wide compared to the old one that they have. So now we can see that the trucks can import safely and export safely because they have generated a lot of space for them to cover a lot of importation and exportations. And what we can conclude from this project is that warehousing is a very safe and dangerous operation that needs to be taken more seriously. In what we can conclude also is that Timar, with its unmatched perspicacity combined with its unlimited infatigability, made Timar a feared company and in a company realm. Thank you.
Tu mérites des applaudissements. Tu mérites des applaudissements. Congratulations for your presentation, because I'm so proud. Il y a quelqu'un comme ça ici à l'Institut. Donc, je suis que tu es déclarant technicien spécialisé.
Non, technicien Ali.
Technicien Ali. J'ai une question avant de donner mes remarques avant. Est-ce que tu comptes continuer tes études? Qu'est-ce que me les étudier?
Possible.
Possible. Parce que une personne بحالك خصها تكمل les études ديالك il mérite تخدم في شي حاجه زوينه بزاف. D'accord. Pourquoi je dis ça? Moi, je ne vais pas parler le contenu parce que je ne suis pas formatrice en déclarant douane. Moi, je vais parler plus précisément de soft skills. Ok? Alors, pour moi, tu maîtrises très très bien comment la prise de parole en public. D'accord? Le body language, tu ne stresses pas. Un tout ولا une toute petite remarque عينيك le regard ديالك essaye تخليه فينا certes كنتي parfois كتخلي فينا mais parfois كتهربوا ائتمار مقاسم donc comme ça pourquoi parce que حتى l'interlocuteur اللي كتكون كتهضر معاه فاش كتكون كتشوف فيه كيكون intéressé اكثر شنو كتقول mais sinon pour moi la modulation de la voix c'est-à-dire la façon comment tu parles فوقاش كتعدي فوقاش كتهبطوا donc je trouve que vraiment tu maîtrises هادشي هذا tu mérites تكون كتقري حتى هنايا ان شاء الله pourquoi pas